definitely frozen. You were ready right away, weren't you? Good evening. Welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. Very occasionally, I will pick up the camera in the evening slash at night. It's 10 o'clock at night right now, and take you on one of my insane adventures. So I've had a greenhouse it's actually going to be our 4th summer having it, but we've only been actually gardening in it for 3 summers. The first summer we had pigs in it. But anyways, so I'm sure you can see my breath as I'm talking. As I mentioned, it's 10 p.m. right now, and we've already got frost on the ground. Tonight is going to be cold. We did get hard freeze warnings, and I had the greenhouse closed up all day. It was nice and sunny, but this greenhouse is not heated, and I'm a little bit nervous about it holding temperature because I do have like peppers and tomatoes in here, and I don't know if I'm gonna want to leave them in here. Oh, and there's a bird. Yeah, it's already 35. So it's a pretty common misconception that you can just grow in a greenhouse all year round without having problems. You have to have a pretty well sealed greenhouse, and it has to be heated in general. And there's certain different types of plastic that you can put on for it to retain more heat. So even though it was sunny out today and we were capturing quite a lot of heat during the day, as is common with a lot of unheated greenhouses, by the time the sun goes down, the temperature really does drop, and our low for the morning is supposed to be 25. And if it's already 35 here in the greenhouse, we're going to be freezing in the greenhouse by morning, and I do not want to subject my peppers and tomatoes to that because that would be a death sentence. So we're going to move them. I actually have them over here in this little greenhouse, mini greenhouse within a greenhouse. You can see it's pretty steamy in there, but they're not going to last in there overnight. Not without hurting. I thought about risking it, but at this point I'm glad that I didn't. You might be able to see here that I even put this humidity dome over the peppers, but I don't even think that would be enough. So look how big my tomatoes are. Can you see those? I could definitely start these over if they froze, but what a heartbreak, right? We'll definitely get a better look at these in the light too in the morning. I have these plants here. These are frost tolerant. So these are kales right here. And then I have lettuces right there. These things are frost tolerant, like I mentioned, but they have never seen super cold temps, and even these guys can be damaged. So I'm gonna stick them in here. Got lots of seedlings in the green stock. Just gonna have to see how they do. Well, it's actually increased in temperature by about 1.5 degrees since I came in here this morning. The sun is barely starting to touch the greenhouse finally, but we're probably gonna have some losses even in here, and even of frost tolerant things. That's my guess. These here are little Peruviana zinnia seedlings. I've got essentially one in each cup on the top here. There's a bonus one down here. Those are gonna be dead. These little tomato seedlings, these are probably gonna die. In theory, with some things that are frost tender, before the sun actually hits them, sometimes you can put like spray water on them and help their cells thaw out a little bit slower and maybe save them. But at this stage of things, it's probably gonna stunt them anyways, and it's just worth resowing. Here are the frost tolerant greens that I had in here. They're definitely frozen, but they should thaw out and be just like normal. We'll see. The reason that I'm concerned about even the frost tolerant plants is, again, it's been quite warm here. Our nights have been in like the 40s, maybe upper 30s, but we really haven't had very many frosts, especially here in the greenhouse. Frost generally doesn't settle, but this, like the condensation froze in here. So it's acted like a frost in here, which these plants haven't even been close to seeing. So most stuff will probably be all right. Some stuff will probably have a few leaves that die. We just have to wait for it to heat up to really be able to tell. This is honestly the first time I've had anything like this happen. And I think a lot of it has to do with the wind yesterday. I had the greenhouse closed up all day long and the sun was on it all day long. Really, without wind, it'll be over 120 degrees in here, like no problem. But it only got up to, I think it was 82, and the wind just kept blowing. It just whisked the heat out of here. Well, these guys certainly survived the night, which I'm grateful for. They would not have had I left them in the greenhouse. This is actually a whole flat of zinnias. I'm very excited about this. And here's our peppers. I haven't had them on a heat mat or anything, and so our germination hasn't been amazing. I may just put these inside my house and put them on a heat mat instead of moving them back out to the greenhouse. See the mushrooms up here? I actually have something to tell you about these. Hi guys, so I'm going to interject in the garden tour really quickly because I need to harvest some mushrooms, and unfortunately I know that when I go to film the garden tour, these guys will all be harvested, and I wanted to show you how cool they are when they're at this stage. So back here, I actually am growing several different types of mushrooms. This one is a chestnut mushroom. They're some of my favorite looking. And then we have the enoki mushroom back here. I have some lion's mane that I recently harvested. It looks like they're trying to poke out a few more manes. And down here I have my original blocks of oyster mushrooms that I got in December. And I have been growing and fruiting in these same blocks ever since. Little mushrooms trying to poke through. I should probably put some more holes in there so the mushrooms can come out, but there's one right there. I got these mushroom blocks from a friend who has a small business down in Alabama, and he wanted to do a giveaway for you guys of some mushroom blocks. So the giveaway is going to be on this video. If you are interested in a mushroom kit of your own and you are in the contiguous United States, the lower 48, comment mushroom down below. There's actually going to be 12 kits that are given away, and I think that's super generous of him. So if you'd like to enter to win a mushroom kit, which is really easy to grow, you can grow them indoors. You don't necessarily need a tent like this. Actually, the first time I grew my oyster mushrooms, I just had them on a shelf inside my shed, and they did really well. And in a week, I'll go live and we'll draw the winners. Look at this handsome boy. Are you on your chair? Are you on your chair? Let's see what damage we have. The strawberries, these are frost tolerant. They're okay. I'm amazed as well as confused. Hold on. Frost tolerant, rocky top lettuce mix. These guys are okay. Dinosaur kale tray. That looks good. I see a little bit of, wiltiness going on, but most of it looks all right. These are obviously very thickly sown. I need to separate these out soon. So here in the green stock, I planted quite a few frost tolerant things, but I also did plant some frost tender things. Like that's a tomato. It doesn't appear dead. For reference, it's 77 inside the greenhouse right now. So everything that was gonna die, if it froze, it should be dead. At this point, it should be obvious that it's dead. Like this zinnia here, it might be okay, but it's kind of dark and shrivelly and doesn't look super happy. But this one over here, it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. This one down here actually looks quite great. That's a zinnia. See, here's another tomato. Those look good. See that? Then here I've got some mini bok choys. These are frost tolerant. And down in here is radishes. Those guys are frost tolerant too. I've got germination of celery in just about every cup. These guys look good. This is obviously very thickly sown as well. I'll have to thin that out. My parsnips are fine. Some of them are actually looking quite well. You see these little mushrooms down here. These are what I'm told are called inky caps. Can you see this almost half moon shape of like a haze that's in the bed? This is the mushroom's mycelium overtaking the soil in here, and here are the fruiting bodies. This you know, didn't fare super well in the freeze, but I do have a picture of what these guys look like when they're coming up. These bonfire peach trees are cold tolerant down to zone 5, and so I think they're gonna be fine. I've got a chart as to which tomatoes are which in this tray, but even just looking at some of the leaves, I can tell this one's probably a Brandywine. You can tell that the leaves look really different compared to the leaves right next to it. This is called a potato leaf tomato. It looks a lot like the leaves of a potato, where these ones are classically tomato. Got the first little bitty strawberries coming on in here. So despite it being 27 in here this morning, everything did remarkably well. If I had left those trays of peppers and tomatoes in here, I don't think they would do as well. I don't know why those seedlings are okay. I don't know. I don't have an explanation. I might be inclined to think that maybe my thermometer in there is broken, but there were ice crystals on things. Like, it was frozen in there. Time will tell too with some of those things. They might look more dead later on in the evening, but we gotta check on the raised bed garden. Yes, I have the cart. Do you all want to be fed before I check out the raised bed garden? He's not gonna hurt your baby. You guys do want food. Okay. Goat intermission. Oh boy. The girl's hungry? My goodness. All right, hang on. Get down, I gotta get it out. Christine, ma'am, leave my camera alone. Leave it alone. No, I know you love the people. They love you too. All right, you guys play with that. Hi, babies. Here are some of the littlest babies. How are you? This little friend, he had a weird eye yesterday. Can you come here? It looks a lot better today. Here, let's spray it real quick. Oh, he is better. He's not screaming at me. Yesterday he had some eye goo. I'm guessing he got some hay in it. Oh, it's looking a little better today. So I have this Vetericyn pink eye spray. It basically just flushes anything out. And I've been spraying that in it. I did put some terramycin eye ointment in there. Here. Oh, he's getting strong. I know, I gotta put it in. I'm sorry, honey. I know. I know. Okay. Okay, but it's needed. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go give you back to Mama. Poor guy. Go back with your friends. Y'all going for a ride? No one's under there? Come on. Usually they've jumped out by now. Fun's over. Go on, go on. Go on, go on. Ma'am, no. Go on. No. Go on. Woo. I'm very pleasantly surprised to see all of the plants in here. I had some really tiny seedlings. I wasn't sure how they do. That looks suspiciously like kale. I didn't think I planted kale over here. Like, that is kale. Yeah, these plants are all good. No damage. Got a bunch of lettuces scattered in through here. I actually expected these to not survive. We have been experiencing some frosts in, you know, the last few weeks since these guys have been sown, but nothing like last night. So I expected them to be damaged, but it doesn't look like they are. So I guess I'll count my blessings. I've done a little bit of weeding over here so you can actually see how many elephant garlic we have coming up now. Very full bed. Looks like 100% took. Not too much happening over here. All of this is planted. I may re-sow over here. This is supposed to be dill. And we've got Egyptian walking onions over here, and they're starting to poke up. And then over here I sowed some different types of chamomile flowers. I can't quite tell if what's germinating in here is just weeds or if it's chamomile yet. We are going to be getting some more wind later, and I can tell it's starting to pick up right now. But I wanted to show you, I did weed these few beds. They've been very, very messy the last few months. I've got a prickly pear down here that has looked better. We'll see how well that bounces back. This has surprised me in the past. This here is bee balm, which is properly taking over this bed that I gave it. And this is another prickly pear variety called the Santa Rita prickly pear. And down here I have a few asparagus crowns, and I did harvest from these a couple days ago. I took a picture of it. It was the first asparagus of the year, but asparagus spears are not frost hardy, and I wanted to grab them before it froze. Looks like the elderberry tolerated that quite well, which I'm pleased about. Our blackberries have come out of their dormancy and they're starting to put on some new leaves. Pretty soon we'll have flowers. And of course with flowers comes berries. And yeah, that's the garden update. I guess I'll count my blessings. I was cursed in the greenhouse for not being as effective as I thought it should be, but clearly if we have tomatoes and zinnia still alive after it getting down to 27, it must have done something. If you are at all interested in growing mushrooms, do not forget to enter yourself in the giveaway by typing down mushroom or something of the like down below. I'll see you guys again soon.